How about now? I'm betting you guys are hearing me right now. I'm just gonna take a lucky guess to say that I just really figured it out right now. So, um, just give me a confirmation if somebody can hear me. Somebody knows I'm here. Meow, 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 meow. Nothing. I'm thinking. Yes. Oh God. I've told you all before that I'm pretty technologically deficient. And I can tell you exactly what just happened there. One of my big Christmas presents from my mom was a headset with a microphone. Even though I think my microphone that I use to record is better, this one has been pretty good for me. And I grant you all the ability to laugh at me. There's on the headset, there is a little button that mutes the microphone. And that's what it was. So I'm sorry for being an idiot. But yeah, it's that's really all that happened there was me just kind of being dumb. How's my mom doing? My mom's doing great. She saved up a lot of money to give us all a good Christmas, so it was really wonderful about that she did that. So we had a good time, and I wish that yeah, I did. You did say mute. I'm still getting used to it. I'm not used to all this stuff, so I sound like $1 million. Well, thank you. I feel really good. I haven't had pains in a couple of days. I spent the last night. I wanted to work. Hey, Bonnie. I wanted to work last night to do some sort of football game watching. I'm not a huge football fan, but I kind of like to watch that sort of thing a lot, and I like dominant sports teams. I like to watch them, so I kind of felt invested in it. And afterwards, it was just so late, I just didn't want to go through with it. But did I get a Switch? Oh, I wish I had a Switch. No, the most recent platform console that I have is a PlayStation 3. I mean, the PlayStation 5 is going to come out this year, and I don't even have PlayStation 4. And it's not because I don't like video games, which I really love video games, and I'm just not as good as them as I used to be. And I have so much other stuff going on that a lot of times you really have to spend time just watching and listening to video games and playing them. I just don't feel I have the time for them, which actually kind of sucks. Well, I am glad. I'm glad you guys. If I was able to get a new console, it would be a Switch. Although I would probably go ahead and get a Switch Lite so I could just play it in handheld. Do I like Sonic? Yes, I do. Stephanie, hello. I love your stories. Thank you. Claire, was I yawning? If I was, I'm sorry. I am a little tired. I didn't sleep very well. I'm a kind of a big, as I think I mentioned in my comment, I like videos. I like award shows. I like seeing what's going to happen. And the Golden Globes were tonight, so I know they don't really mean much in the long term of things, but growing up, I really wanted to be an actor. So when I was younger, I wanted awards. I wanted, to be so good at this and that and the other. So I still like watching award shows. In this year, there were a few movies that I really, 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 really liked. So I'm kind of anxious to see how they're going to be doing. Yeah, I'm doing okay now. I don't know what trazodone is, but Just give me an idea. But yeah, I got a Sonic light, a Switch light, and it's blue. The blue ones look really right. Yeah. Am I a night owl? I'm usually a night owl. I haven't been lately. I've been waking up very early and going to bed really early. But I don't have a set schedule. I can make up my schedule as I go along because I do translation work and I do my channel, so I can make my own hours. So I come and go like this, that, and the other. So it's my schedule changes like all the time. So how do I like the Joker? Ooh, see, that's a good question. That kind of like ties into what I'm thinking tonight. I really like the Joker. I really like Joker. But I do have criticisms for it. I thought Joaquin Phoenix was brilliant, but the character he played was not the Joker. There was no Joker in the history of Marvel Comics that was simply demented but not a criminal genius. And there was no criminal genius involved in that role. I really liked the movie. The movie was good, it was intense. Joaquin Phoenix, wow. But the movie didn't really do it for me as far as being a movie about the Joker. Hey, Big Kev! Everyone say hi to my good friend Big Kev. He's been there for me for years and years, and one of the greatest people in the world. Is anyone else looking forward to Godzilla vs Kong? I am. I love kaiju movies, so I'm really waiting for that. Brett's looking forward to the new Grudge movie. That's actually a good question. I know that most of us are familiar with the Grudge movies. How many of you have watched the original two television specials? Because I have one, the original Grudge, which is subtitled, but the second one, they're both 1 hour movies. Which I've never been able to find a subtitle copy, but I speak Japanese fluently, so I can listen to it and understand. But those two movies, in addition to all the other stuff that follows it, really made it pretty wonderful. So it's if you've seen those, that's good. If you haven't seen those, I really, 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 really suggest them because they really answer a lot of questions like that. Is Big Kev a kaiju or a gaiju? I meant gaiju, but he might be. I don't know. Do you like any of the X-Men movies? I like the second X-Men movie. I thought the first one was kind of weak. I thought the third one was a little bit too dark. There were just several things that happened in the third movie that just were like really turned me off. So it rubbed me the wrong way. But I'm hoping that I haven't watched any X-Men movies since that, though. I know there's been movies when they were younger and stuff, but I kind of just got disinterested in all that. So, um, I should watch the original Eye. I've seen the original Eye, Brett, and I love it. I think it is a great, 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 great movie. Wonderful. What made me decide to study Japanese originally? Oh my god. Okay, I'll tell you this. I will explain to you guys all what made me study Japanese if you promise not to hold it against me. I have been, as a younger person, somebody who was not adept to critical thinking. I did a whole lot of my mind, a whole lot of my life was based off just what I was thinking at the time. And I didn't really put my thoughts to the test. And my dad, who, I'm estranged from, was the person who kind of taught me to think like that. I sort of got the idea that you didn't have to think critically. You didn't have to think anything other than your first emotion. Your first thought was the most important thing. And I didn't, once I started going to school and I started thinking and knowing that that was a bad way to think, I was told by my teacher, my guidance counselor, if you're going to pick a minor or you're going to pick something, you got to pick whether you want to have a Bachelor of Arts degree or a Bachelor's of Science degree. Now, my original thought was Bachelor of Science because I thought, okay, I want to be a scientist. So there you go. But they were like, my counselor was like, my counselor told me that, okay, I want to tell you the difference between a Bachelor's of Art and a Bachelor's of Science. Bachelor's of Arts, you have a language. Bachelor of Science, you have math. And at the time, I thought I sucked at math, even though as years went on, my strongest subject in college was math. But I didn't know that at the time, so I picked Bachelor of Arts. So they were like, "Well, what sort of language do you want to take?" And I'm like, Spanish? No, I don't want to take Spanish. French? No, I took French in high school. I'm pretty good at it. Uh, Arabic? I'm like, um, no. Japanese? I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah, I like Japanese wrestling. I like anime. And my father, who I'm sure that most people who know me so far know, me and that man, I kind of despise him, and he despises me. He hates the Japanese people. He still thinks that the Japanese are planning a takeover of the United States, which is ridiculous. And I kind of did it to spite him. And I can admit that I did that. I have no problem with that. I can admit that I was being petty. But I don't mind being petty because by doing it, I got to involve myself into a beautiful language, a beautiful culture that goes beyond just watching J-horror and anime and Japanese wrestling. When you really understand a lot about what has gone on, what Japanese culture represents, it's pretty amazing. It's a beautiful, beautiful culture. What is my dad's problem? He's a moron. I mean, I don't. My dad was an abusive moron. I don't go into that too much. But oh, he was born in 1949. But actually, he doesn't hold World War II against the Japanese. My dad is obsessed with the idea that was pretty prominent in the late 80s, early 90s, that the Japanese were trying to buy all American companies for an attempt to have the majority of American companies to take over the government. Now, that's not constitutional. That the whole idea is completely ludicrous. I mean, the Japanese can own 80% of commerce, but they just give them any control over the government, technically. And that's what his problem was. And for me, it was like, there's a culture that has done so much since World War II. Not only that, but they've done so much to make up for what has happened So I wanted to spite him. I won't deny that. I wanted to shove it to him. And you know what? I fucking shoved it to him. So, um, but I don't mean to be bitter and weird. You know, I've tried to make up with him 1,000 times. It just doesn't happen. So, um, yeah, my dad is. I'm crazy too. I mean, I think a lot of you probably realized it. Um, I'm not completely here, but at least you guys enjoy it. So I'm gonna ask you guys a question so I can watch it in the chat here. What do you think is the best movie you saw this year? Since I'm watching the Golden Globes, tell me what you think was best. It's good to be a little bitter. I agree with that actually, and I don't mind. I don't mind my bitterness at all because I don't think that it has really done anything completely negative to me. I've been bitter. I have tried to make up with my father several times, and you can only give so much without the other person giving in return. I'm willing to compromise my thoughts and my emotions with people, but they have to compromise too. And if they're unwilling to compromise, they're not worth your time. And that's just all I can say is true. I haven't spoken to my dad in a long, 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 long time. So I don't think it's going to happen again. I honestly think he'll probably pass away before I ever have a chance to speak to him again. And that's not my fault. It's his fault. I've left the door open 1,000 times. Yesterday was in my top 3. Was that a movie that came out? If it was, I feel kind of really bad because I didn't know it. I'll tell you what I'm thinking about this year. Again, I didn't watch a lot of movies into the past few days, but when I did, I was just pretty amazed at them. Knives Out. I thought Knives Out was wonderful. I didn't see the ending coming. They really kept me guessing. And Daniel Craig doing a foghorn leghorn accent. Oh my god. That was just something else. So I'm kind of rooting for him a bit tonight. But then I watched last night, probably about 4 o'clock in the morning. I watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I've always been on the fence as far as Quentin Tarantino goes. You see, that's why maybe I can't pronounce his name. But I watched that movie, and oh my god, was that brilliant! I just loved every moment of it. Hey Crow, Crowblood 666. Everyone say hi to Crow. Crow always forwards my videos on Twitter and supports me very much and is a really just all around awesome person. So let's everyone give Crowblood666 a thumbs up. So Secondhand Lions, that was a Jonathan Taylor Thomas movie, wasn't it? Um, I remember watching that about. Actually, here's the funny thing. Can I tell you guys a story? It's about. I started my channel in August of 2015, and I didn't think it was going to do anything. In fact, the whole reason for me starting the channel was thinking that I could start a following. That maybe if I were to publish books, people would buy my books. I didn't know that YouTube monetizes. I didn't really know anything about that, and I moved on. I went on, and I fell in love in 2015. like absolutely fell in love with 2015. Obsessed, almost to a degree, which I don't really feel that way about people very often. And my now ex had this biggest crush on Jonathan Taylor Thomas. So we watched Secondhand Lions. If I'm thinking that's the correct movie, oh, let's watch that movie. Let's watch that movie. And I thought, oh, that doesn't really sound like a really good movie. I don't really care about that. It was a good movie. There was a lot of niceness to it. There was a lot of no, I'm thinking of the wrong movie, Haley Joel Osment. So I'm gonna shut up now. So who wants to take over the stream for me because I just messed up? I messed up. Doop doop doo. You're loved. Well, thank you. I really hope I'm loved because I got the movie wrong. So now I'm just gonna be quiet. Oh God, I feel like such a dork. But again, if I wasn't a dork, what would I be? I love the cabin in the last video. And that's actually a pretty good question. Oh, do I love the Ghost in the Shell movie? I'm sorry, no, I didn't. I apologize for not liking it, but I really didn't. There was a bit of a, but then again, there was circumstantial stuff going on. At the time, I pretty much thought that somebody was trying to convince me to watch the movies just because they liked them, and at that point in time, I was kind of like feeling off against that person. So that might have been something to do with it. So I really wasn't familiar with the anime at the time. You love my laugh, Elkie? That's because you never heard my real laugh. No, my real laugh is dorky as hell. Most of the time I don't. My laughs are constructed, and I can see something funny and I go, I'll be. But my real laugh, no, no, no. My real laugh, if you remember Revenge of the Nerds and that laugh from that, if you really get me laughing, that's what you've done. You'll be in that. Okay, I'll do it right now. You get that laugh. And if you make me laugh like that, I will have to punch you. But but you guys are all doing great. Thank you, and I'm really happy that the stream is actually doing pretty good. I was worried that with the kidney stone issues that maybe you guys were getting a little annoyed with my putting things off, which I'm pretty happy that you haven't. So thank you very much for all of that. Please give us a real laugh. I gave you. If you wanted me to give you a real laugh, you gotta tell me something funny. Um, for example, when I was watching Once Upon a Time in Hollywood last night, when I heard Leonardo DiCaprio singing "Behind the Green Door," oh, that was funny. I did laugh my butt off. But yeah, Aromac, you're right. Secondhand Lions. I don't know what movie I got that confused with. I have seen Secondhand Lions. I guess I was having some sort of uh, neural crossover or something. I'm not really sure. But there was something I was confusing it with the Jonathan Taylor Thomas movie for some reason. But I do remember Secondhand Lions now that I allowed myself to look it up really quick and know what I'm thinking about. Wow. Um. Okay. Um. Okay, Christine. I want to preface this by telling you that I will tell you what I feel about right away, as long as you promise not to feel bad about bringing it up. Because you didn't know, and most people don't know. Um. The House of a Thousand Corpses is the most disturbing, monumentally destructive thing that ever happened to me in my entire life. and I don't know why. But I think I've told many people that I suffer from OCD, and I didn't know that for a long time. And because a lot of people who have OCD don't really convey it, or they don't know it, because like people who have schizophrenia don't know they have schizophrenia because everything they think they see is real. People who have OCD are on the border. They think it could be real or it might not be real. And for some strange reason, watching House of Thousand Corpses really screwed with my OCD, and it sent me into a psychological spiral that lasted for about 6 months. And I can't even explain to you what had gone on during that period of time. I lost complete touch with reality. My anxiety, I mean, I kind of lost my job. I was a supervisor at a 401k call center. I lost a lot of touch with reality because the movie really messed with me. Um, but I don't want you to feel bad for asking that because that's a valid question. But here's the thing about it is the thing about House of Thousand Corpses that disturbed me was the lack of hope. I mean, there is a scene in that movie where one of the bad guys has a gun and a police officer is right within like a foot from that person. And no, you didn't upset me. Christine, you didn't upset me. You gave me an opportunity to talk about something that maybe most of you don't know. So maybe I can share that with you. But there was a scene where a police officer is standing only like a foot and a half away from the killer. And the killer had a gun. And he told the cop to get on his knees. And the cop got on his knees and let the guy kill him. And my thought is, how pathetic. I mean, would you not? Okay, if someone is going to shoot you, the evil black cat knows what she's talking about. She's like, it's just like the House of Thousand Corpses is a big psychological issue in my life. It always has been. So when people bring it up, I'm happy to talk about it because maybe if I talk about it, it will exorcise some of the demons that I have. But see, my problem with it is that the police officer, when the guy was holding the gun to him, got down on his knees and he let the killer shoot him in the head. And I'm like, what? I mean, when the killer pulled the gun on you, you have to realize that you're probably going to die. So why not try to take that frickin' asshole out with you? And yeah, I know it's easier said than done, but I've had as I think a lot of people about 2 years ago, before my brother passed away, I was attacked by a guy who was huge, big muscle bound bodybuilder guy who got mad at me or was calling me a fag for carrying a messenger bag. Oh, you faggot carrying a messenger bag. He didn't say it like that, but he was insulting me a lot, and it wasn't the fact that I don't care. You can call me whatever you want to call me, but the guy started stalking me, and we were in a Walmart parking lot. He tried to attack me, and I broke his arm. So the whole thought process at my point at that time was that, okay, am I going to let this big guy beat the crap out of me, or am I going to break his arm? And I cried for about half an hour after I broke his arm. But see, That's how it goes. No one be sorry. It's all fine. And don't feel bad. It's better for people to have these issues and talk about them and expose them than to just keep them all like tangled up inside. And the more I talk about them, the more I relate to people. The more I say, "Hey, people, I'm crazy and I've done this." It helps. So don't feel bad. Feel like you've helped me. That means a lot. And now I'm sitting here wondering, though, about Evil Black Cat joining us. She was sleeping for a while, so I'm supposing one of the other uh, 8 evil felinic creatures that we have living in the house probably did you in. Yeah, if you're talking about what I was, Crow, if you were talking about what I was talking about as far as the House of Evan Corpsman thing, yeah, I've written about it. I have the video again, the apartment, uh, which explains a lot of things that went on after that when my anxiety really started to get high and stuff. And right now, it's sort of a medical thing where I've had I've had seizures and partial seizures during my life, and that's one of the things that I've always had a bit of a problem with in the past maybe 10 years. Is that I've seen things I thought were paranormal, and I've heard things I thought were paranormal, but I realized that I have partial seizures, so I'm not really sure if I was experiencing the supernatural or if I was having a seizure. So it kind of gets me a little bit confused. And no, Christine, do not feel bad for asking. It's just the way my life works. I will not put the information out there. I won't introduce it to you to hint at you to ask me a question, but I don't hold it against you for asking me the question. And I can tell every single person there, don't be sad about what happened to me as far as I had a mental breakdown. I have no problem admitting I had a mental breakdown. And uh, and if I didn't have that mental breakdown, I wouldn't be here talking to you all right now. I would have never ever considered doing this otherwise. Um, Duchess. Actually, scary movies and scary books are good for me. Um, I just took it a little bit to an extreme with that one because I can watch some pretty violent and horrible stuff, but there was just something about that movie that just kind of like. But see, that could be any movie. I've seen dramas and even comedies that can be very, 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 very disturbing. So, Aromac, did you experience these quasi paranormal events in the house you currently live in? No. And I don't know if Evil Black Cat has experienced any paranormal stuff here. We live in a very old house. If I'm not mistaken, this house is about 80 years old. But I haven't had any of them here. The majority of my paranormal experiences happened in a apartment in Elk Grove, Illinois. And I'm able to tie a couple things together to understand my state of mind at the time. I was very, very, very deeply into the supernatural and stuff like that. And I started dating somebody who was a big aficionado about Ouija boards. And so a lot of our talk was about Ouija boards, Ouija boards, Ouija boards. And Ouija boards are nonsense. I'm sorry if anyone likes Ouija boards that's listening to me. I apologize for disparaging them. But for me, Ouija boards are nonsense. But at the time, my mind really got wrapped up into what this person was telling me. So I bought a Ouija board. I tried to contact the quote unquote spiritual world. Didn't work, of course. The planchette never moved. But then 6 months after that, for a total of 6 months after that, there was just horror after horror after horror after horror after horror. And as Evil Black Cat said, my mom is afraid of Ouija boards and always forbade us to have any of them. And it's really funny that the subtitles, instead of saying Ouija board, just said Wii U board. I mean, come on. The Wii U was not that successful. It wasn't. It actually almost killed Nintendo. So, what's more popular, the Wii U board or the Ouija board? Screw you, you. AI captions, but no. No, it didn't follow me. I can add some sort of, I don't know if it's validity or what. The best way I can describe it is it happened when I was in that house, and it wasn't just me. My friend Matt, who was my best friend for a while I lived in that apartment, used to come over to I gave him keys to my apartment. He was welcome anytime, and he'd come into my apartment and just hang out. And after the whole Ouija board experience, which I did not tell him about, he stopped coming over. And the thing was he's like, I just can't be in your apartment. I'm like, why? He's like, there's something negative, some negative feeling there that I just don't like. I don't like being around. And he just doesn't, he didn't want to be in there after that. And I guess in my mind at the time, that just kind of fed what I was thinking. I don't blame him for that. He's not a skeptic. Has never been a skeptic, except when it comes to religion. Matt has always been very open to the idea of the paranormal, but closed to the idea of religion. So there's kind of that. I consider that a dichotomy. But yeah, it's uh had 6 months of total and utter hell, and then I love that apartment. Actually, the apartments went condo at the time, and I was offered a deal that when they went condo, that I wanted to buy the apartment, um, and agreed to no renovations to the apartment. That they would completely skip a down payment. I think they were saying if I didn't want renovations, they would have offered up to $10,000 worth of a down payment, and I should have taken it, but I didn't because at the point of time I was so scared about what was going on. I just wanted to get out of that place and never look back because there were a lot of weird things going back. Yeah. Evil Black Cat's right. I don't like The Nightmare Before Christmas. I'm sorry. Um, Maybe I'll give it another shot one day, but I don't really like musicals. When I watch musicals for the most part, I'm looking forward to the parts where they're not singing anymore. And if I'm looking forward to that, then I'm not really looking forward to watching miracles very much. So, miracles. That's what I'm saying. Musicals. I apologize. Um, but yeah, Nightmare Before Christmas. I like the artistry from it. It encouraged me to check out books from the library. They had a lot of Tim Burton's original drawings and stuff. I think as most people might know, the most famous "Life Isn't Easy" for the Pincushion Queen. When she sits on her throne, pins push through her spleen, and and so I was able to look about it like that. Do I like the It remakes? No, I do not. They were. Oh Lord. I don't want to offend anybody by telling you about all these movies that you guys might like that I don't. But there's one major problem with the It remake. Now, the thing I read It before I saw the TV series or anything, and I actually liked it. And a lot of Stephen King's longer works I don't like because I sort of think that he needs to tell himself, okay, I can write this book in many shorter pages, and that it could have probably been reduced by about 400 pages and still been great. But the It remakes, I think I mentioned this before. The clown Pennywise is not scary. And everyone's like, "Oh yeah, he is. He's he's so evil and he's so fast and so and everything. He's so scary." It's like you don't know what's scary. I can make anything. I can tell you easily 500 movies in the past 20 years where the horror movies where the bad guy moves really quickly. Ooh. What made Pennywise scary in the book and in the original TV series was he acted like a clown. So, by acting like a clown, he was able to convey the actual emotions that people fear when they see a normal clown. The character in the new movie was not a clown. He was some sort of demonic entity that looked like a clown. But that's not why people are scared of clowns. They're not scared because, oh, this, that, and the other. They're scared because of the way that they act. And I think that Tim Curry as Pennywise in the TV series, what the fuck is a series? The series was leagues ahead of anything that they've done so far. So I was very, very disappointed. And again, I'm not scared of clowns. I'm really not. I like clowns, so I'm not always going to know why people who are scared of clowns might be scared. I don't know, but my thought was because they are clowns. I mean, if you're not scared of a clown because they're a clown, why are you scared of them? Christina, I love Rocky Horror Picture Show too. Dan, have you seen Tokyo Ghoul? No, I haven't, but if you recommend it, I will give it a shot. I've been looking for something to watch for a while, anyways. Terratopia, greetings to cast. I have a food poisoning that would need an exorcist. Not really sure what to say about that. So just get into this chat, and I imagine this has been asked, but is there a story that you read that was the scariest, and have you ever had anything paranormal to yourself? Well, again, my paranormal experiences, I debate with myself whether they're paranormal or not. I don't know. I'm willing to look at them as either something that's paranormal or as a person who has partial seizures that maybe they're not. Um, but of all the stories that I've read, of all these stories that have been here, I've had so many. The ones that scare me the most are the ones that involve people who are unaware of what's going on. Um, Most of the stories that I convey or that I read don't scare me very much. I'm very desensitized, but they. I know that there are some stories that other people have read. Creepypastas. For those, the funny thing is, I find a lot of creepypastas scarier than true scary stories. Um, there's a story that I first heard. I think Creepsmas Pasta read it. A story to scare my son. Oh my god, that terrified the hell out of me. I won't give it away if you guys haven't read it, but that I'd actually like to do a version of that. That story was scary. But yeah, the whole thing is that I don't know. This just right now. I think that in movies and stuff, I think the horror is lacking in movies. I really do, which is kind of sad because the last movie, and please don't make fun of me for this, the last movie to really scare me was probably Sinister. And it didn't scare me in the beginning. It it Sinister. I thought when I first watched it, I'm like, God, I didn't like that movie. What the hell's scary about that? But then over the next few days, I was just sort of by myself in a house, and it was dark, and I had four cats with me. But okay, who do I have? I have Ichigo. If you know anything about Ichigo, as much as we call him a killer orange cat, we love him to death. He's a big coward. Rukia hides. Althea doesn't really care about trying to make you feel better, and Drusilla only wants attention. So I was walking around the house in the dark, thinking about the scenes in Sinister where the ghost children are like running behind the character and stuff. See, the climax of the movie, the resolution of the movie, I didn't find any of that scary at all. But the scenes where Ethan Hawke's character was walking around and there were children, ghosts of children hopping by him and dancing in the hallway in his background. But then when he looked and saw and they were gone, that scared the crap out of me. That scared the crap out of me. Oh, so let me look at some more questions here. Talking about which horror movies were success versus fail. Doo-doo-ba-doo. Sinister, the one where the boy was trapped in his nightmare, right? No, that's Insidious. Sinister was the one where the the true crime writer moves into a house where a true crime was committed in order to research and write a book on that true crime. Um, hey, Evil Black Cat, Food Wars on Cartoon Network, culture like that. Rukia would tear the shit out of a monster, though. Yeah, Rukia hides no matter what. But if there was someone trying to threaten me, I know Rukia would just tear them to shreds. So I have no problem with believing that. That's quite true. But didn't like Sinister, especially when the ghost children tuned you to into. I probably froze for like 20 minutes thinking, what the heck? But then again, yeah, it's like I didn't think it was scary when I saw it. It got scary to me afterwards, and that was the big thing. It's like I think when I actually saw the movie for the first time, I graded it like on IMDb. I went and graded it like a 2. But then as a couple days went by and it set in, and I started thinking about what was going on, I upgraded my score because it was like it stuck with me. And I haven't had it happen in so long. It was great. And maybe I'm a little bit biased for that because I haven't had a lot of movies since I was a kid really scare the crap out of me. So it was nice to have that. It's weird to say that, isn't it? But you all listen to my channel. We listen to other horror and creepypasta people. That's what we like. We like to be scared. We like to be scared, and when someone can scare us, we can admit, "Damn, you did it correctly. You did it right," and that's wonderful. Anna Coles, have you seen Gerald's Game? It's one of the better horror movies. It is generally disturbing and realistic. I remember uh, Gerald's Game. I, as a younger child, had a subscription to the Stephen King library, where they sent you these uh, red-bound Stephen King books and stuff. It was uh, something I really enjoyed. But the first one that I got that wasn't an old book was Gerald's Game, and I read about 20 pages into it, and I did not care for it, so I stopped reading it, and that was a mistake because going back in time and seeing the movie on Netflix, which I thought was great. The movie was great. And then I read the book, and the book was better. It's like, wow, I'm sorry that I gave up on that. I'm sorry I gave up on the book like 20, 40 pages in. That was a good book. And the movie it's a little bit difficult for me to answer or think of the actor's name who played the space cowboy, the man made of sunshine, whatever he was. Just like that whole scene, but knowing that he was there, that's the kind of horror I like. If you listen to my videos and you pick the story, you listen to the stories that I pick to be in them. That's the thing that I like. I like those stories that cross that barrier between I don't know what's real and I don't know what's fake. And in Gerald's Game, that was there. So I really regret not reading that book fully as I was younger. Now, I could say that when I was the last Stephen King book that I read from start to finish was Insomnia. And I have to admit that it probably wasn't the best book to end my reading of Stephen King on. And I don't know. It's there was a whole lot of mythology involved in it. Um, and Stephen King, I don't. I'm sorry if anyone really loves Stephen King. Stephen King is not really great at his mythology. His books contradict each other while trying to have them not contradict each other. So that's always been a bit of an issue. But like the Dark Tower series, I read the first 3 books religiously. In the 4th book, I got through maybe half of it, and I just couldn't do it anymore because the 4th book was fucking. Sorry, excuse my language. Was fucking with mythology, and it's like no. Read someone like J.R.R. Tolkien who doesn't contradict his mythology at all, and stick with that. Plan your books out. I think I was with my sister the other day, and you can make fun of me all you want to. Oh, politically, Stephen King is great, and like as a mouthpiece and a guy with the balls to stand up for what he believes with, much respect. I will never say anything bad about Stephen King as a person. And for the first half of his writing career, I will never say the first half of his writing career was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Um, I just think he got so famous and so big that people stopped editing him, and every writer needs an editor. And when I went through college and took all these classes in English and writing and stuff, and by Elke, I'm just gonna continue. I just want to say goodbye to you, but yeah, thank you. Sleep well. Um, you gotta plan your writing. You know, um, you have to think about the writing beforehand. And the other day, my mom and my sister took me to see the movie Little Women, which, my mom and my sister both love the book. My mom's read it like 300 times. I don't know how many times my sister has read it. No one's ever asked me to read it. I didn't know. So I read the book. I didn't read the book. Blah, 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 blah. I watched the movie, and the thing that captured me the most was the style of writing of it's okay, Brad. I'm probably going to go on for a few more minutes because I'm pretty tired and not feeling really. I mean, feeling okay. Don't worry. I just been up for a long time. I might only go for about 5 more minutes, but I wanted to get this out to you guys, so don't feel bad about leaving. You have a great night, Brett. You have a great night, Elkie. But I just want to say is that the thing about the Little Woman movie that got me the most was that the character Jo was planning out the book. She was writing a book, and she was writing out the pages. She was laying them out in order and constructing her novel based off planning and based off this works, that works. See, Stephen King doesn't do that. He just sits down. He doesn't outline. He just sits down and he writes, and thinks that sort of writing, that transcendental sort of thing, will just make the books good. But that's not what makes a good writer. What makes a good writer, and again, maybe not a good storyteller. Stephen King is a great storyteller. Um, but what makes a good writer is somebody who can figure out the stories, write them down, plan them out, rearrange everything, and construct a narrative from beginning to end that tells the story you want to tell and conveys everything about those characters. I gotta teach a 9 agility class at 5 a.m. tomorrow, Casey. That's okay. Again, guys, I'm only gonna last for a couple more minutes because I'm exhausted. But I was not gonna delay this for another day. Um, I'm so happy. It really does make me. I hope you guys know this, that I get nervous about streaming, but whenever I get over the nervousness and get in there, there's nothing I love more than talking to you guys and being here with you. You always make me so comfortable. You make me feel appreciated. My stories are unique because I put them in my own voice. I don't go onto Reddit. I don't go onto anything like that and find stories. I find people, and when I find those people, um, I'm like, hey, do you have a scary story to tell me? And they're like, yeah, but I'm not a good writer and stuff. So I'm like, well, I'm a decent writer. So how about you and I work together? How about we work together and me put a story together for you, and I'll put it on my channel. See, that's what I do. And that's a lot of times why it takes a lot of time for me to be able to come out with videos a lot of times, because I'm working with these people to write down these tales and to put them in my own voice. So it takes a lot of time, but I will do it. I will do it forever, even if I made no money off it, even if only 100 of you ever watched it, because you guys make me feel great, and it's wonderful, wonderful having people like you here. So I want to tell you right now before I go, what I'm going to do in the future is I'm going to. I think this stream has gone good. I'm going to schedule them I think that's what I did good last night. Is I put the schedule out. I'm obsessive compulsive. I really fall into schedules pretty well, so I'm going to do that and schedule them all so they at least 24 hours beforehand. They're all going to be scheduled on the channel, so you'll know they're coming, and I won't find sick ways to get out of them. I'm just kidding. But anyhow, as far as that goes, guys, I'm probably going to go ahead and go rest. Thank every single one of you for being here. The stream was great. I appreciate you all, and I hope you all have a great night. And you will get more stories this week. I already have about 6 or 7 of them up written and ready to record, so you'll see them. And I hope every single one of you sleeps well. And thank you very much for being here with me tonight. And I'll say it again, as I always do. You can all go to sleep, but make sure to check in your closet and check under your bed. Because you never know where the killer orange cat might be hiding. Good night, everybody. Love you.